What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. I definitely say Lakers fans should be happy about this in regards to just Rob Pelinka for the Lakers general manager. Next year should be his last season, possibly his last season with the Lakers in regards to being in that position. And I definitely think all Lakers fans, or most Lakers fans, would be happy with that. And also, there is some, prospects where they might be able to get Russell Westbrook too. And it might not cost them that much doing it. So that's definitely something to be happy about as well. But let's talk about, Rob Pelinka. Ever since he's gotten the position, it's just been an utter mess. He can't, for some reason, from what I know of the guy, he was an agent before he actually got into the position that he's in. I think he was an agent for Kobe, I believe, actually, at one point. But ever since he's been in the front office, things has been just disarray. I mean, the team went missing the playoffs one year. Then luckily the bubble happened. And, just ever since he's been there, it's just been nothing but confusion and an utter mess. And you can't really, blame one person when it comes to a lot of things going wrong or everything going wrong with the organization. But he is a lot of the blame, the reason why the Lakers are in the predicament that they're in. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure some of the decisions he made, he listened to LeBron. So LeBron definitely has some fault in it as well, but not as much as this guy, I don't believe, because this guy makes the final decision from what I hear. And he's one of the final decisionists, one of the finalists that makes a decision in regards to which direction they go as a team. And when you look at that in its entirety, what he's brought to the team really hasn't been much good. I mean, Anthony Davis is there. They did get a championship. So, you can't really discredit that. But I mean, the Lakers should be more of a dominant team than what they are. I mean, it's all about what have you done for me lately, right? So lately, if you look at this team this year, all the pieces that were put in place, it didn't work out. And, Rob Pelinka gets a lot of blame because there is some things that he probably can actually do that can make the team better overall as a team, totality wise, making certain trades or getting certain pieces in there that allow them to be, a fit and make them a much better team. And when you think about that in its entirety, it was much better, I thought, when Magic Johnson was there, or at least when Magic Johnson had a hand in it. Because when Magic Johnson had a hand in it, I felt like the team, even though they weren't at their best, but I felt like they were trending in the right way. You always feel better when you have somebody in the front office who's played the game, who knows the game, and who has the right mindset to try to develop a team rather than try to just put a piece here and there and hopefully it works one season and then the next 5-10 years you don't know what your direction is. And that's what it seems like Rob Pelinka's like. It seems like he's just trying to put a piece here and there. If they get a championship, that's great, or if they do pretty good in the season, that's great, but he has no plan for the future. And to me, when you're in a position like he's in, you got to have plans for the future for the team to evolve and to stay good going forward, which makes a team either dominant or makes a team get towards that direction of being a dominant team or just a consistently good team every single season. And these last couple seasons with the Lakers, they've been a really up and down team. I mean, they got the bubble championship. A lot of people don't respect that. Outside of that, Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. LeBron is getting older, and some of the decisions that was made, in regards after the bubble. I mean, they let go of KCP, Alex Caruso. I mean, they let go of a lot of good pieces that I thought that really made them a good team. I mean, Danny Green, they end up letting go of Rondo, at the time. So it's like, the decisions are bad for the Lakers. I don't think he's the one that needs to be in office making the decisions. They need to either get, Magic back or, somebody like that. I remember one time they did have Jerry West, but now he's actually with the Clippers. So, because apparently he didn't like the organization. He didn't like the way the organization was going with Rob Pelinka in the in that position, or being a part of the say-so of what the team is about. And it's just a lot of, confusion there. And Magic didn't like it. That's the reason why he didn't stay, or he took his input away from the situation. It just seemed like the Lakers as a team is not as good, or they don't look like they're going to be as good going forward with this guy in the forefront of the office. It needs to be a Magic or a real voice in there that people really respect. I don't think the players or people really respect Rob Pelinka, and that's the problem. When you don't have that respect amongst the players, especially probably amongst the best player on there, it really makes it more difficult. And I'm not saying LeBron doesn't respect the guy in regards to what the guy is in his position, but I personally, if you ask LeBron James, would he rather have Rob Pelinka or Jerry West, it's not debatable. If you ask LeBron James, would he rather have Rob Pelinka or Magic Johnson, it's not debatable, because see, those guys played the game, so they know the outcome is good. The outcome is going to look better when you have guys like that in the front office, because they're making decisions for the Lakers, for the team, for the spirit of the team, and the legendary status of the team, and throughout the history of the team, they're making moves. They will be making moves in regards to bettering the team for long term, rather than just bettering the team for short term. And that's what Rob Pelinka seems more like. He would better the team for short term success rather than long term success. But when you think about the Lakers, you think about a team that has long term success. You don't think about a team that wins a championship once out of every 10 years or something like that. And, I'm not saying it's going to happen to the Lakers, but the way they look currently as we speak, it's very possible that it could happen to them, because the way they're constructed right now, they don't fit as a team. Rob Pelinka is getting headlines and buzz almost as if he's playing in the NBA, because of a lot of the bad decisions that he's making, and a lot of the moves that he's not allowing to happen. And they're just really a team that's set back. And like I said, you got an old superstar in LeBron and an injury-prone young superstar in AD. So it's like they don't really have no real future, look like. And that's the problem. And that's the reason why I think Lakers Nation and the front office is, they need to really start looking into, taking some pieces out of the front office and putting the right ones in there to build a better culture. Because this team, honestly, they don't look like they're going to be good in the next 2 to 3, 5 years or going forward. They don't look like they're going to be a good team like that you could depend on constantly every single year to make the playoffs and be a team that can contend for a championship. They just don't look like that. And when you think of a Lakers team, they're always supposed to look like they can contend for a championship the year you're in, and they always need to look like they're going to contend for a championship for years to come. And that's not the way the Lakers are right now. And ever since, I feel like him and I think it's Jeannie Buss, whoever is in the front office, I just feel like specifically Rob Pelinka, ever since I feel like he's been in that position, that driver's seat, I just feel like the Lakers as an organization, long-term wise, is not going to, pan out long-term wise. And like I said, when you think of a team like the Lakers, you think of long-term success. You don't think of short-term success. So I feel like getting him out of the office and putting somebody maybe there who, knows more about basketball, not Kurt Rambis. I don't want him there. I think he's trash. But put somebody else in that position who not only knows more about basketball, but who will make better decisions for the organization long-term. And that's where I think of somebody like Magic Johnson or somebody like that. The reason why I think they should try to get Magic back, because he's thinking long term and he wants to build the organization to be great as it was when he played, or as when Kobe played, or Shaq played. He's looking long term, and those are the type of management crew that you want to have on any type of job, because they always make better decisions that can allow the process to go with longevity. Like, we're going to be a winning team. We're going to have 10 to 15 winning seasons going forward because we got this player or that player. These two players can carry the franchise. You see what I'm saying? But the Lakers don't even look like they have 2 or 3 good years going forward with the franchise that they have and the team they have now, because it's a bunch of misfits and a bunch of elder statesmen, and the young guy on there that's supposed to be the best player is the most injury-prone player in the NBA in Anthony Davis. So they're trying to do so many things and trying to win at the same time. That's where failure comes in at. That's the reason why they weren't able to accomplish anything this year. It was too much talk about Russell Westbrook trading him in the middle of the season, and whether LeBron James is going back to Cleveland, and Rob Pelinka is to blame, LeBron James is to blame, Anthony Davis can't stay healthy, the Bus family is, all this stuff that just comes out, that's been coming out this season, took a toll on the team, and it does that to a team who's not built for long-term success. It always does. It always rears its ugly head, as in like, who's to blame and why the season didn't turn out the way it's supposed to. And, that's why I said I feel like starting there with the Lakers, maybe replacing him, maybe getting a Magic Johnson back in there will make Laker Nation feel a lot more at ease if they're able to do that. And I definitely think that they definitely need to get up off this guy and definitely need to, move away from him. I think it'll make the organization so much better. So I wish he was actually gone from the organization now, because I don't even like hearing his name. I feel like Magic Johnson should be the name that you always should hear in the front office, or Jerry, somebody with a name like that who is going to make better decisions, or who that has a better interest for the team long term. Now, as far as Russell Westbrook, there's some offers out there for him in regards to some teams that might actually take him off their hands. And the two teams that I've heard about specifically here lately has been the Indiana Pacers and the OKC Thunder, which is a former team he used to play for. And those are only two teams that might be willing to take upon his contract and get him off the hands of the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, of course, probably won't get anything really back in return, not of his caliber, but if they're willing to go through with that, then that would open up some more space for them to acquire somebody else, because, they won't have Westbrook's contract under their hands, and they'll have more cap space to do other things. So I think the Lakers definitely might look into that as well. Those two options seem to be pretty solid right now, as far as, teams that can, possibly, take the so-called Lakers problem off their hand, which a lot of people believe is Russell Westbrook. So, if that works out there, then the Lakers got something going there as well. I think that would open up a lot for their future in regards to being a better team, because Russ doesn't have much left in him. From what I saw this year, he has maybe 1 or 2 decent seasons left. Then after that, I think he's really going to start falling off for real. And then, LeBron is just, hanging around, playing pretty good himself. I got to give him credit. But, a lot of his points is empty calories. So if it don't help you win, they really don't matter. And I think that's how he feels, too. So you have to look at that in its entirety as well. But they really need to figure out what they need to do with Anthony Davis. That's another big question for them. Even though I know he's supposed to be their future, but right now he's starting to look like, he needs to be their past, because if he can't stay healthy, it really doesn't matter who they have on the court with LeBron James. If Anthony Davis is not healthy, it's probably not going to work. It's not going to amount to championships anyway. So they really need to figure out that area. But specifically those two areas, though, with Russell Westbrook, at least having some leads on Russell Westbrook definitely makes it a little bit more fitting for their situation, because they try to get rid of him mid-season, but they weren't able to, I guess, because Rob Pelinka was saying the contract situation wasn't right about the trade, or the potential trade between him and for John Wall or something like that. But who knows? Rob Pelinka is probably lying, or making up something just to keep everybody afloat and kind of push the situation away, because he just doesn't have any idea what he's doing. And that's just the point I've come to. He just doesn't know what he's doing as a general manager, or, for the team, one of the upper office men for the team. He just doesn't really have an idea of how to, make a team better long term. And I just don't think that's what the Lakers need. If they're going to be a better team, if they're going to get back to their winning ways, they need the right staff in there, the right recruiting staff in there. If they don't have that, they will be exactly what they were this year, a non-play-in, non-playoff team. And everybody's wondering what happened. But everybody knows what happened. happen. They just weren't good enough, which is the reason why they didn't excel or get any further than what they did, which is the regular season. So I definitely want to see what comes of this. I definitely hope Rob Pelinka is out the door soon. Just for the Lakers and the nation sake, because they definitely need better management. I think it's good to listen to LeBron, but it's also good to have somebody in the office to make decisions over LeBron James if need be and make the right decisions. So you definitely need somebody with that backbone in the office, and you definitely need somebody in the front office who knows basketball enough to make decisions to make the team better without somebody like LeBron coaching you while he's trying to play basketball on the court at the same time. It just doesn't mix that way. So, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes and see how the Westbrook thing pans out. But right now, it's chaos in LA, but at the same time, they're trying to make things right, but only time will tell. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.